Good afternoon. I would like to thank Dawson College for affording me the opportunity to talk about one of my passions, which is enabling girls. I would like to start by asking a question. How do we enable girls to be confident, resourceful, and courageous? And by courageous, I mean to respond life with courage, and to have the courage to strive to challenge oneself, as well as to connect with others in terms of giving back. It's by connecting the right human and experiential dots that we enable girls. Let me tell you a bit about myself. I became a Girl Guide at age 10. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Girl Guides, it is the world's largest voluntary movement dedicated to girls and young women. My leader was dedicated to us and to guiding. She opened up a world for me that I could not have accessed otherwise. I learned, at age 10, that she had been a mechanic and a truck driver for the Red Cross during the Second World War. That was a revelation for me. I was growing up in the 1960s. It was an amazing experience to work with a lady like that. Of course, I didn't realize that, at that time, that women did all kinds of things in the Second World War that were very different than they traditionally had done. But what this did tell me, although I did not have the desire to be a truck driver, it told me that I could pursue perhaps a non-traditional role that was typically on offer in the 1960s and the 1970s. Through all my guiding activities, she afforded me many leadership opportunities. I learned to be resourceful. I learned that stick-to-it attitude it takes to earn all those badges and awards. And in fact, in my life, that stick-to-it attitude has paid off for myself and my family. The first time I went to the Girl Guide camp, which is near Moore Heights, which is still there today, a whole new world opened up for me. I developed a passion for the outdoors, which I still have today. I love to camp, hike, snowshoe, canoe, among other things. At that camp, we learned to make many things with very simple equipment and materials. And believe me, there was no duct tape in those days. But I had something far better. In those days, we had an official Girl Guide knife with a 4-inch blade. We kept it in a leather sheath, and we kept it on our side to be prepared. Every year, I went to camp for 2 weeks. 3 young women gave up their 2 weeks vacation to give us a wonderful experience and to help build skills for ourselves. This taught me a couple of things. Well, I certainly learned how to many skills, and I knew how to survive that ice storm. But on top of that, this also taught me that I have a responsibility to give back. We did many community service projects as well, and this did teach me to be a good citizen. Since that time, I've continued to be a member of Girl Guides. I've been a leader for over 25 years now, and I've taken on other voluntary roles. Among them, a member of the Board of Directors, and currently, I'm the Provincial Commissioner for Québec in Garden. Now, in the late 1970s, I went to work in a male-dominated industry where there was rarely a woman in management until the early 1990s. Yes, that was the railway. And I was afforded the opportunity to take on various roles in what were very male-dominated areas, such as train operations, railway station operations, and I headed up a project which changed 100 years of railway, some aspects, 100 years of railway operating practice, and it was successful. Throughout my career, I never doubted that I could learn and succeed. I'd like to fast forward to the present now. As you know, our universities and colleges are full of young women. Yet, we also know from a research study done in 2007 by the Canadian Women's Foundation that by grade 6, only 36% of girls report themselves as being self-confident. By grade 10, that has fallen to 14%. I'm sure that you would agree that this is not good for girls, and it's certainly not good for society. Girls need a variety of leadership roles, a variety of leadership models in their lives that are accessible to them. They need to develop a sense of wonder in the great outdoors and respect for the environment. They need to connect with their community and develop a sense of giving back. They need to learn leadership skills. When I speak of leadership skills, I'm speaking of a leader of oneself and of others. We do know from research with Girl Scouts of the United States that girls reject the command and control model of leadership. They much more relate to something that is collaborative and working towards goals. So how do they accomplish all of this? It sounds easy. It really isn't. It's something that takes time. Girls need to have exposure to and experience with holistic, experiential programming in an intergenerational context over a period of time. And I do not mean 6 months or a year. In order for them to be enabled to be confident, resourceful, courageous, and to make a difference in this world. It all starts with capacity and skill development. When a girl gets to make a birdhouse, she gets to build something that's useful. She develops some carpentry skills. And then when she installs that birdhouse, she connects with nature. When girls build benches for a much-loved campsite, they learn that they have a responsibility to help maintain that campsite, and as well, they also learn some of those skills that are going to help them out in that first apartment of putting together those IKEA products. When girls learn to use a compass, or go geocaching, for example, they learn about wayfinding in the great outdoors, and I do not mean them all, and they learn survival skills. When a girl makes her first grilled cheese sandwich on a buddy burner. Now, for those of you who don't know what buddy burners are, it's a simple tin can with a heat source underneath it that is made with recycled products. When the top heats up, she gets to make her first grilled cheese sandwich. And you start to feel, yeah, I can take care of myself. And also she learns about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. When girls get to make an apple pie for mom to take home for Mother's Day, they learn some basic food preparation skills, and they learn that they need to show that they care for someone else other than themselves. When girls plant a garden in a public park, yes, they do learn some basic gardening skills, but more importantly, that they have a connection with the community in which they live, and they have some responsibility towards that community. How about older girls creating a teddy bear health clinic to teach younger girls some first aid, and to have the older girls take on some responsibility with leadership? Now, I wonder how many of you have ever built Quincy. A Quincy is a small snow hut that you build yourself. It's safe, and you get to sleep in it. And it's warm, trust me. It really, really is warm. It takes hard work, though, especially when you don't have a lot of snow, as we had this last winter in late February. These girls dug and dug and dug all day long, and they built their Quincy. They got to sleep in it. They had a great night's sleep. And then when they were finished, they got to take it down and make the area safe for others. In doing so, they learned to work as a team. They learned to work hard and stick to what they wanted to do, and to see a project through to completion. When girls get older, it's important that they extend their view of the world. It's important that they take part in meaningful projects, such, for example, as Habitat for Humanity in central Mexico, providing a day of fun for children from less advantaged neighborhoods in Cuernavaca, Mexico. And to do this, they have to fundraise. They learn those valuable lessons from fundraising, and they get to learn about budgeting and planning as well. very important skills. How about meeting girls in India who share the same values as you do? When a girl gets a chance to do that, she realizes she has a global connection. Expands her view. How about meeting girls who have to carry water up to their parents' one-room apartment that does not have running water? A girl gains a new perspective and certainly comes home appreciating what she does have. It's important for girls to challenge themselves in their personal growth and to know that they can do different things, that they can try things and not to be fearful. How about rock face climbing? Zip lining? Or perhaps high ropes? In this way, they learn to challenge themselves and try new things. Now, have you ever had to talk a girl through a high ropes course? I have. A while ago, a group of girls decided they wanted to do some team building activities. And so they decided one of the things they would do was a high ropes course. One of the girls got into her harness, went up the ladder, started along, and then found that she was afraid of heights. Now, fortunately, I had finished the high ropes course. I went back and I walked her through it. The girls behind her were somewhat frustrated because they were ready to go, but they also knew they had to support her. And so we supported her, walked her through the course, and she completed it. She was still a little shaken by the end of it, but she did complete it. Well, about 6 months or so later, she came back to me and she was so excited to tell me that she had gone on a school outing, had gone on the high ropes course, and wasn't afraid. So she had learned to overcome her fearfulness, and she was ready also to try new things. How about asking a group of girls to plan a Hunger Games themed camp for a weekend? This is a great opportunity for them to plan, organize, and execute. And put some creativity, like creating an activity for girls who worked in teams, who had to go and find a hidden cornucopia trove with very meager equipment. And then they had various challenges to complete, such as first aid and hiding food, among other things. In this way, a group of girls got to take the lead, do some planning. The other girls learned how to work as a team and test their skills. All in a context that was relevant to them. Hunger Games, as you may know, is quite popular right now, especially among teenage girls. And this is what we call fun with a purpose. I wonder how many of you have had the opportunity to learn a bit about some aspects of Native spirituality. When a girl opens her mind to how others think, see how they perceive and understand spirituality, it prepares them to be open and accepting of others. How about trying some science experiments with your friends at a young age? This encourages the feeling that I can learn and I can succeed at whatever I try. We all know that it's very important to have lasting friendships. It's important to build those friendships, and it's important to build positive interpersonal relationships. This is very important in terms of giving to others, as well as receiving support from others on that occasionally bumpy road of life. Now, the proof, of course, is in the pudding. Does this really work? Well, from research with parents of girls in guiding, we learned the following. 87% of parents felt their daughters were more confident. 93% felt they were building lasting relationships and positive interpersonal relationships and friendships. 70% believed their daughters had an increased sense of environmental awareness, and 68% an increased sense of community engagement. I'd like to speak for a moment about leadership. I'd like to introduce you to one of our leadership ambassadors. Her name is Sarah Tamilo. Sarah is one among many young women who have taken leadership roles in guiding in Quebec. Sarah, as we like to say, grew up in guiding. And this is what she has to say about leadership. To me, leadership means being inspired by the people around you to get out of your shell and show the world how you can what you can do, allowing yourself to inspire others. Girl Guides gives girls and women a chance to do just that. It can awaken possibilities and qualities within yourself. I'd like to conclude with something that probably seems a bit old-fashioned. A promise. When a girl or a woman becomes a member of Girl Guides, she makes a promise. In Canada, the elements of the promise are to be true to myself, my beliefs, that is, one, spirituality, and to Canada, meaning being a responsible citizen in Canada, to take action for a better world, and to respect the guiding values. When a girl or a woman takes this promise, she binds herself to the 10 million girls and women in 145 countries around the world who are part of the worldwide organization of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. We call it WAGS. WAGS is an organization that takes on many initiatives regarding girls and women, and it has official standing in the United Nations with regards to issues that affect girls and women. So, throughout the world, when a girl gets to connect the right human and experiential dots, she will be confident, resourceful, courageous, and she will make